Welcome back to the Sam Show here on Auntie Tay's YouTube channel. And today's a little extra special because it's my first video of teaching you guys how to embroider using the Auntie Tay membership files. Now, I am new to embroidery, so it's a little bit of a learning curve for me as well. So let's go learn together to make this really cute tea towel, and it'll be a little extra for the holidays. Let's go get embroidering. Hey everyone, it's Sam from the Auntie Tay team, and you're watching The Sam Show. Let's go make some fun things. I got my tea towels off of Amazon. I think it came in a pack of 13 or something like that. So I had quite a few, which made me feel a lot better because this is my first tea towel I'm ever embroidering on. But I have gone to an embroidery class where they taught us how to do it. I just didn't have time to get mine done because, yeah, it was a crazy day. Anyways, I am finding the middle of the tea towel so that I know where I want to put my hoop so I can line up my design. Once I mark it with my washable marker, I then put a layer of tearaway stabilizer in my embroidery hoop, and I'm using a medium size hoop. And then I know that my machine does not like just one layer of stabilizer, so I cut out a little bit bigger than what the design will be, but smaller than the hoop, a piece of stabilizer, also tearaway, and I'm using painter's tape to hold it down. You can also use machine embroidery tape. You just really want to make sure the edges are secure and that the tape isn't going to come up and that bottom layer isn't going to come up because that's going on the underside of your hoop. Then with your tea towel, you are going to try to line it up in the center of your hoop, and I just put it on top. There are stabilizers that are tearaway sticky ones that you score and then your design would stick on top. I'm just using regular tearaway and this works fine. But what I am going to do, so once I have my tea towel lined up the way I want it to be, is I'm taking more painter's tape and I'm just rolling it and putting it on the edge of the hoop to kind of help hold my tea towel in place for at least the initial stitching of this design. And then on top of the tea towel, I once again like to use a layer of stabilizer, but I'm using wash away stabilizer. You can also use like iron away stabilizer on top. It just helps from your stitches from catching. So once again, I'm just trimming it to size to fit in the hoop and taping it down with painter's tape and making sure that it's going to be really secure and not roll up. So the design I am using, because there are different princess icons on the Auntie Tay membership. Yes, there's embroidery files on the Auntie Tay membership. It's so cool. And under the icons, there is for frozen snowflakes, and that's the design I'm going with. So I downloaded that on the Auntie Tay membership, and then I put it on my 1 gigabyte flash drive because you have to have a small flash drive for your machine. Now, I have a Bernina 790 Plus, and as you could see in the beginning, I added my card, and then I found my snowflake pattern. Every machine is different, so I'm still learning mine, but I found where my toggle was to rotate it, and I rotated it 45 degrees so that the design was facing the way I needed it to, that my tea towel was placed for my hoop. And so I just played around with that and it was center. Just make sure that it's centered, otherwise you're gonna have an off-centered design, but that's all you have to do for that. And then the most important part is when you load in your design is you want to make sure that tea towel doesn't get stuck underneath your hoop and you embroider it to itself. I'm using isocord thread. That's what I like to use. I'm using 2 different colors, but this design does allow you to have 4 different color snowflakes. So if you want to do 4 different colors, you can. I did 2 of them the same color and then the other 2 of a different color. I did like a medium blue and a light blue. So you can pick what you want. Now for the first handful of stitches, especially getting that first snowflake on there, you want to make sure that everything is stitching okay and nothing is bunched, and yeah, just let it go. I mean, I feel like embroidery is such an amazing thing because the quality is insane, but it is very time consuming. I mean, sometimes you have to babysit it, and that's one thing I'm like learning with my machine is different ways that it has little quirks, but I love that my machine shows me which color I have to do next, and so I get ready and I just keep chugging along to the pattern. Don't feel bad if you have a couple mistakes. I had my bobbin jam a couple times. I'm still learning the tensions and everything of my machine. But it's so nice that you can just pop the hoop out and fix it and put it back and it remembers where you are. So I finished my first 2 snowflakes and then I went to my light blue snowflakes, and they do get pretty small, so I tried to keep the jump stitches, the stitches in between, a little more cleaned up. That seemed to help with any issues I was having. And once it's all done, you can trim up your piece. Just be careful not to trim too much into it, but you trim away your stitches. I trim away my washable as much as I can because it gets kind of gummy, and then I trim down my tear away too, but enough that it's still easy to tear away. And cutting some of the back stitches made it easier to pull my tear away as well. So this is what it looks like before I wash away the water-soluble stabilizer. Now, my mom told me with the water-soluble stabilizer that even if they tell you you can wash it in the sink, do not do it. It'll gum up your drains. So that's why I take this big bowl of warm water and I put the design in. And you can see I'm just trying to wash away the marker lines, the washable marker lines, and a little bit of the design. But really, you're going to want to let it sit in there for about 15 minutes or to the directions of the stabilizer you used, and it will eventually just dissolve. It's awesome. I love it. And you can see I didn't get a ton of the tear away in the back off, but I'm really not picky. This is for me. It'll eventually start pulling away and I'll pick at it every time I see it. But once it's all dry, you can iron it out and you have this super cute tea towel that just puts you in the winter spirit. Thank you guys so much. If you want to see more embroidery projects, let me know. I would love to know if you machine embroider too. But see you next time, guys. Have a great day.